Epochs this is, and I sort of decided, me to continue on really, of course. I would do it for a bit actually, so I was getting back to the role of, doing stuff now. You probably won't notice this until next year really, but in fact, I'm filming this in advance really, but it's taken a while to do a video really. I've done the first two a while back, then I decided to do, 3 and 4 next really. There we go. So we've now entered college. We did so 2013. I left secondary school. I did at age 16, and went to college actually. I've been to college before because I went to do a schooling thing actually. So you go like once a week, like every Wednesday or something like that. You spend the day in college, do this subject, well, the sort of thing you want to do really, and it became that sort of thing. But I went on a different course. I did, of course. I think the school next one I did childcare actually, but for the one I did in 2013, 2014, this is the 1 year, I was health and social. I did level 2. I did, and it was a bit of it's not the best experience of my life. It was more of a dark time really. This is probably the most darkest period of my life really, to be honest. College, tough time, very tough time. But I'll get into the bones of it really. So September 2013, got there, and there was quite a few familiar faces I haven't seen for years actually. So it was like a week gathering people, a few new people as well, which I'll probably get into. I think the people I'll mention now is like the people I've known for years, of course. So yeah, so who we got? So Zach Wood. I'll start with Zach Wood actually. Zach's an interesting couple of years. I met him involved in the schooling thing many years ago, a couple of years back actually. He was doing a life skills thing, of course. He knew one of my ex-mates, ex-girlfriend really. And they were in class together. We just started hanging about him really, had a chat. Nice fella he is, very interesting man. Works in care he does. He's a bit of a he's a different kind of animal. Of course, he's nice. He gets on well. Does his job really, but he does some things that are for his own taste really. If you know what I mean, has his own way of doing things. Really. Has a reason, but well, yeah, he has reasons people don't really. But we saw met him there. Really. I think it was like me and him first as the only males. I can to who else next really. Well, later on really. So he was there. One thing he used to do quite a lot was he ended up, trying to skip classes, really like escape and say, oh, like he'll fake out and say, oh, get his phone and said, I've got an emergency, and he'll walk out the room instantly. That's one thing they did quite a lot. I think he did solve skip classes. I think he did that most of the time, really. I think he was in college, he did other courses. I think about with some of these people, they were just like did other courses, like different types of courses. They were just like dumped here, like, hey, just do this really. Stay with this class, see what you think. If you can pass or not, or what, that type of thing. That was like what college was like at that point, really. 7 years ago, this was. Well, nearly 9 years ago, really. 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Something like that, really. A bit like that, really. So, Zach, yes. I met him a few times actually since then. He works in care, he's been doing a lot of care stuff, he uses care himself. Good for him, he's doing his own thing, of course. I know he's, someone I'll mention in the final installment, of course, worked with him, of course, and he decided his own type of things, saw stuff like, how to arrange stuff and everything else, working at home, really, and anger the staff or piss them off, really. Does his own thing. He has his own sort of home branch, but he's doing well. I think recently I found out, like, someone was telling me that he climbed through a window to get in someone's house, really. Just like one of these sort of clients' houses, really. A bit strange, really. But there we go. It's been a few weird situations, really, indeed. But he's doing well. He's not too bad himself. I don't know, I'll see him at some point anyway. So that's Zach out of the way. Jasmine Alexandria, or Jasmine Cameron, she was known as. I didn't recognise her at first, but I don't know. It's a weird thing, but she turned up she was my old neighbour. Where I used to live, I used to live in a bungalow in Kennel before I moved to this village where I've been here for about almost 20 years, more than 20 years actually. And I met her actually. It was a bit odd really because I haven't seen her for years. She actually moved to Scotland with her sister, Hattie. Really, because the mum and dad had split. They did actually. They divorced or separated, and mum went up to Scotland, lived there, and she lived there most of the time, really. And she came back here. She was living in a flat, had a boyfriend. She was working in pound stretchers as well at that time, really. And just all reconnected, actually. Fun fact, actually, I did see her dad a couple of years back. He did a bathroom for us, for my parents, really. A fantastic job he did. You know, they make modernised white circular bulbs as well, like flat lighting, really good. Fantastic work on her dad's, you know, craftsmanship, actually. It took a while, actually, but got through it. You know, managed to get through it and did a fantastic job. You know, Jasmine was always innocent, has a bit of craziness about her as well, but she's always lovable, very bubbly type of character she is. And again, very nice person, you know, you get away instantly, you know. Innocent, a bit shy sometimes, but she's great, she is, wonderful. She moved out to Scotland, of course. I think after college, split with a boyfriend, really. It was someone called Sean, I think his name was. Yeah. And so I went into like a bit of a goth phase she did for a while, heavy metal goth phase. I think she's still doing it, actually. But she's a nurse now, she's working in the hospital, she is. So I think up against Scotland way, of course. So she's a nurse, so she's working in health and social care, as a trained does. So I think it was good for her. Who else? Can't think of. Hannah Dean, or Hannah Mather, she's known as now. She got married. Hannah, I've known her from primary school, actually. She used to have a crush on me. She did. A year older than me, but she's a decent girl. Family's nice as well. You know, great family she's got. So it was interesting, really, and obviously seeing her again, very much. Again, innocent. She's always been polite, kind girl. You know, that's how, you know. No problems with her. You know, she's always great. She is, Hannah. Indeed, you know, just get out for it, really, of course. It's interesting seeing these people actually, you know, like reconnecting with a few people I've known for years, different parts of your life, really. It's weird, strange experience. That's how the way she's married, and she's got 2 kids. She's got a son actually, just recently, actually. So good for her. At least she's enjoying the married life, family life now. Who else can I think of? I'll do the trio next, actually. Rowena Phillips is next. Rowena, she was the best mate of Chloe Teasdale many years ago, because I've known Chloe for years. Best mate when they went in Windermere in the Lake School, actually. Rowena's always been great, actually. I usually get paired up with her and Liberty as well at some point as a trio, as a quartet type thing. You know, when we do projects and stuff like that, you know. And but she's always great. She's nice. Again, craziness, really. She was the ex-girlfriend of Aaron Eccles, who I met at same school, actually, same school as me, actually. So I'm new. So it's interesting actually seeing those people, like, you know, the best friend of someone you've been friends from many years ago, used to be friends with in nursery back in the day, and someone you saw new from that same group. It's like, that's a bit strange, really. It's all these like weird dots connecting. It's like, it's one of those things. But she's always pleasant. She is an Alexander. She's got another boyfriend called Adam. She works in catering now, but she seems to be doing well. Indeed, sounds good. She's alright. She is. Jess Mills is next. And Samara Davison. I pulled them two together. Jess Mills and Samara Davison, and sort of the double act, really. You know, the sort of pairing, really. Best friends for many years. Used to hang about. I think they actually palled around with Mannix many years ago. Actually, I think he told me actually. So there's, you know, for many years, of course, they went to the same school. King Catherine did. So no each other from there. Jess has always been always again pleasant as well. They sort of plum blast, really. I can't describe more bit spirited. Plum blast, you know, and you know, always means well, a bit of a lot of time, really, a bit of a slag, really, in a way. Indeed, I know my mates, you know, I hang with Ellis, did actually. Her and her sister walked in. The other word I can think of, you know, like I remember from those tram lines, really. That's the main thing, tram lines. Yeah, but they did. Shaq, they did. Them two. For a bit, and it was like, you know, one and done. One night stand or one and done, really. And the sister walked into the room. It's like, you know, a bit of an awkward thing, really. But there you go. I think she's got a boyfriend now, of course. And I'm not sure what she's doing, really. But there we go. But she seems to be okay. Samara Davison, she, again, probably ran with Jess, of course. Friends with Liam, of course. Was a dancer. She was. One of the things I remember about her was she had bloody diet pills, respiratory diet pills from Holland and Barrett, and everyone came to the fuss that she was taking these, and of course well, you'd be fucking thin, that sort of thing. It's like, it was like again, body image type situation going on, really. But she's always been alright somehow. Really, she's got a partner now and a son, so she's all doing okay. Really, I don't know what she does really for a living. Really, who knows? But not there really. I don't know really. I'm too sure because I still friends with. I got on Facebook and everything else, but I don't really keep contact with them. You see in the street, like you get recognised and that sort of thing, really. But there we go. But she's been doing okay. Tyler J. Wood is next. Tyler, I knew from secondary school. Actually, she was in the second form. Actually, I was in the fourth form. She was in second form. She was. Really, she's always got. Tyler's always been great. She's always nice, pleasant. Anyway, pleasant lass. Very much. I have a reckless, rebellious type. Very much. I mean, yeah, she do teenage angst. Same school, and that type of thing. But she's always been good. And yeah, always going well with her because I don't know for a good number of years really when the same classes together. So you sort of no choice. Like a bit of secretary sort of crawls back really, comes in really. Like someone you probably again solve main classes, never interact with much really, but there we go. She's in Bournemouth now. She's got a son. Good for her. And yeah, she seems to be doing well really. I'm not sure what she does, but she seems to be doing well. What else can I think of? Saban Gregory. One of the oldest of the bunch actually, because it's a very mixed group really. A couple of people in the 20s, mostly teenagers, and a couple of people in the 30s. Well, two people in the 30s really. Saban Gregory was the second oldest. She was. She was my cousin's best friend actually in school, old school friend really, and actually been friends. They were friends for a good number of years. Been still in touch really, but there we go. She's a single mom. Well, not anymore really. She was single mom at the time. Had two daughters. She did, and I think after that, maybe a year afterwards, she had a third really, but only 3 kids, only daughters really. So all girl household really. Interestingly, she's always been pleasant really. Again, one of those who's actually quite intelligent. She was quite intelligent, really knows what, straight to the point, and also pointing out the facts really. She was again spot on. One of those people really got it. And she was one of the few people actually progressed onto level 3 really, into the next course really. One of the 3 really. Yeah, but she's always been pleasant. We hang about afterwards really. Most of the time just have a coffee. I'll meet her for an hour or two really. Be with the kids as well. Interestingly, I haven't seen her probably since February 2016, so that's quite a long time. So nearly, bloody hell, what do you think? Nearly 6 years ago, actually. Yeah, nearly 6 years last time I saw her. Because I was getting trained on because I didn't drive at that point actually. I was commuting from work. I met her actually, and he said, and she said like, we'll get coffee at some time, that type of thing. We'll meet up at some point. Never did actually. So that's never going to happen really. So. Yeah, doubt it. Unless we sold meet meet up in public in the street or something like that, or supermarket, whatever. Yeah, that'll be a weird thing. That'll be strange. My God. So yeah, very much really. But she's always been pleasant, really. That's the same really. But about her really. But well, naturally, she's got engaged. She did. So she's got a fiance now. Don't know when she's getting married. Who knows? There we go. Who else? On the top of my head. Lauren Marie Crowe. Yes. Lauren Marie Crowe. My God. First time I knew about her actually was through name. Really. It was actually through the deputy head of the school. He used to work at Lakes. A guy called Mike Balsfield, who's still there actually in my same school still, being still deputy head, teaches English really. I heard that there's always been conversations when I go past him sometimes, like he's talking to a few students. He mentions the name Lauren Marie Crowe, and I don't think it's like that really, but Not too sure really, but it was like a weird reference thing, really. And it wasn't until Kenton Dotcom like met her actually. It's like you know, that sounds familiar. And I mentioned, I think I mentioned this to her because we were commuting back. I think we went to a trip to the Mount Gallery. We did, and we talked about it. And he said, "Oh yeah, I remember him. Bit of a dickhead, very much, but that type of thing." When he's transferred to my school now, so yeah, so he'd be that sort of thing. Really, it's like okay, we always gone well with Lauren. She's always been all right, always good. Bit of a nuisance sometimes, that type of thing. But she's great. She's great. She is, what she was doing, she was showcasing stuff like, or showing me that one of the dogs actually just helps with resuscitation. I think because she suffers from epilepsy, she does really, and also they train the dogs, Labradors, whatever, to actually help keep them stable, really, during the feed stage, and that works. I think she was showing me some footage on her phone actually of her. I think it's of her fitting, and the dog just trying to keep her calm or stop it all, trying to ease the situation. Really, I thought that was pretty interesting. Really. And they trained the dogs to do that. Interesting stuff. Don't know what she does now actually, but she's got a boyfriend. I met her briefly actually. I think a couple of years ago when I finished work. I was doing, I think about sometime after 10, after I finished a shift of it. I met the traffic spa really briefly. She didn't recognise me at all really, but we never saw we sort of crossed paths, but we never recognised each other because we haven't seen each other for years. Not since last time we saw each other in college, really. But it was interesting. I recognised her in it, but never said anything. We never said anything. She just continued on, really. Or I was leaving, she was coming in. I don't really know. She had a boyfriend anyway with her. So there we go. Not much to say about Lauren, really, but there we go. Kyra Ash, I'd probably do Kyra Ash next, like next really. Kyra. I think the reason why, I think because they keep linking up, like with different links and everything else. Because I know she was best friends with Lauren Sumner, who I knew from Jordan, Michael Jordan, who I met when I was trained as a paramedic. I've known him for a bit, Gay fellow, homosexual he was. He knew Lara. Lara used to come sometimes, actually. I think just like for a bit of entourage, John's entourage, really. So I knew Lara then. Then obviously I know she was best friends with Kyra, of course. So there we go. Kyra. It's a difficult thing with her because I always find her a bit of, more like the depressed one, like the sort of like the one that doesn't want to be there all the time, really. Unlike Zach Wood, where he decides to leap out and go bugs off really, for his own pleasure and walks out in class, really. Kyra's just like, just like press, like, very sort of emo-ish, I would say. I won't say from goth, she's not that. But, just like, just depressed, like, more negativity, really from her. Has a funny moments, of course, indeed, but I didn't know that. I think she mentioned this, of course, she was in foster care, really, so that's probably some of the reasons why, really. But she's always been pleasant sometimes, but it's often really, indeed, I had a funny conversation with her once actually, because when we were doing we were in the same math class together, because we did. I think one reason on Wednesday. It was a Wednesday, usually, and we had the main sort of stuff first, and then I think after lunch we had a class. This is if you didn't pass your English or maths really in secondary, it passes over to the college really. So if you failed your maths, you can just do maths in college, of course. It's like an afternoon class thing really. And we was there really. And she mentioned to me, "Are you getting wankered tonight?" Now, so one thing about some things some words I wasn't too sure about really. Wankered, I thought it was another word for sex really. So in a shocking type of thing really, I did say no, I'm not sexually active, and her face went white, and she laughed. She did. It's like, and she just admitted, "Oh my, that's not what it is. No, it means another word for drunk." So at least I know what it meant now. Because I mentioned in secondary school, people said, "Oh, good fucking wanker," that sort of stuff. And I just point in my head like thinking, I was going to get lose virginity or something like that, or shag his girlfriend, whatever, something like that, or that type of thing. No, it was completely like people going to get wasted and getting boozed up, really. So at least I know what that was. So much fun. God. So that funny. That's probably one of the funny moments, really. I mean, that sort of stuff. Yeah. What was I saying? So, Kyra, not much to it, really, to be honest. A bit of a moaner, moany bitch. Anyway, I saw her recently. Actually, she was working in a pub. Not Shakespeare, I don't know. I think it is actually. I saw her walking across. Actually, I think I was just commuting all Comfort Town. And I saw her just passing through smoking, in a baby Yoda handbag, whatever, rucksack, whatever, those other rucksacks, don't say about them. Just walking past me. So I recognised I didn't pick up control at all, because haven't seen these people for years, really. But there we go. That's Kyra out the way. What else is next? Right. I'll probably go for the, the next person, of course, which is Declan Babbister. So the third person in the group, he didn't arrive, well, I think it was Declan didn't arrive a month later, he arrived in October, he did. I remember this. I always remember this when I first met him in class, and said, we've got a new student, and in swans Declan quickly, and he, goes in quickly, gets to the nearest chair, and hides and does this, like, Declan, that type of thing. It's like, come in, like shy, really, in a way, type thing. Declan. Most of the stuff has always been a bit of an issue around him, really. I don't mind. I was going well with him, really, because there's only three of us was all going well. We didn't mind each other. I didn't really interact with him as much, really. But there is something about him, really. He was, and again, another guy raised in foster care, and he's always been the baggage of drama, really. God, he's quite notorious for it because he's had a few interactions. People know him. Some girl called Nadia, I know for years, hang about with him, good friends with him. He had a drunken tussle with Ellie Baxter. I remember that actually. He was telling me that actually. Baxter did actually. That's who. Where you got Declan Baxter, you know him. We had a Mexican standoff or something one night while we were drunk. My God, he caused a bit of a fist fight or something like that. And it's like, about people from around here know him. So it's a bit of a local, bit of a legend type of character, really. Like some like main fella you sort of know. Yeah, really. I think the problem, there's always been a few big things with him, really. Like his relationship with Louise, my God. Oh, Trey, like shit, I have to admit. I really do, actually, because that's like proper, you're talking like domestic abuse, really. Public as well. I like doing it as well and treating her like absolute shite, really. For literally bossing her around, and telling her again to telling her come here, that sort of thing. Be commanding, really, quite commanding. Take it down to the floor, really. Sometimes even soaking her to death, really. That type of thing. Very controlling it with her, really, and end up getting pregnant twice. Yes. So he's got two kids spawned to her. So, God, son and daughter. I know it. But we all, it's weird. But think about it now. It's even looking about it now and still think about that. It's quite horrendous. She did separate and just like separate from fully, and she moved away. Really, and I think the main reason was because he ended up sharing Samara at a party. So, and that sort of killed it, really. She didn't say to me she was like pregnant anyway, but she was, again, I think it was on the last day, really, then she left. We're going back to her hometown, really. I'll talk about Louise a bit more later on, really. So Declan stayed on anyway. He did level 3, so he and Siobhan stayed on, did level 3. They did. Afterwards, I don't know what he did really, but you know, he's been doing a few odd jobs and maybe travel up and down really. I met him a few times in town, so, you know, still recognised me anyway. But the sticking point with me, I think the final nail in the coffin for me, really with Declan, was this year, and he contacted me out of the blue. This was in February. This was so. He messaged me. Well, yeah, messaged me. He did out of the blue because I haven't spoken for years. You know, we haven't interacted with each other for years really, and he was asking for money to get custody of his children, Louise, and that. And it's like no, no, Declan, fuck off, mate. No, it's like I didn't literally message that. I did a lie actually. I said to him, well, I'd love to help you, mate, but I'm made redundant. I've lost my job. It's that sort of thing. You know, like I became made redundant. And he said, oh, sorry to hear that, mate. Of course, won't bother you again, that type of thing, of course. And someone on Facebook pointed him out, like, you know, on a newsfeed actually. Henry Swenson, I've done for years as well. He pointed out, like, you know, about old Declan, you know, trying to beg people money to get, you know, for his kids back, really. And he deleted it very, again, quickly as well. He only was on there for a few minutes and he ended up being gone, that post. Point out clearly, even tagging him as well, you know, beg off money, you know, why, you know, it wasn't like he deserve kids or anyway or something like that. So, there we go. So, that's the last time I tried to deck or sort of came in contact with him, really. So, lying to him, really, not being made redundant. Little did I know, a couple months later, I backed me my fucking ass, I did. I'll get to that in the, you know, next time, in the last part, what happened with there. So, that was the end of him, really, to be honest. So, I think I still got the message to my phone somewhere, really, still. So, there we go. So, that's Declan for you, Declan Barrister. Who else? I don't think who else is around. I think we'll go for the new ones as well. The newbies, really, the people I've sort of known. I mean, those people have like links to them, of course, like they're sort of new, but they sort of they've known about. They know people I've known actually, so they're sort of linked to each other. So it's sort of counts as a different category. So the new people, of course. So Louise, I'll mention Louise McMullen, or she goes in a different surname now. I don't know actually. Louise McMullen, she was living in Lincolnshire. She's a Lincolnshire last year. She originated from Lincolnshire. She was living with her grandparents or uncle and auntie, some relatives she was living with at the time, down in Bowness really. Windermere, Bowness, wherever she was staying really. How do I describe Louise? She's very slush, very like a tart, very sort of, God, very brightly coloured, of course. You know, brightly coloured, lots of Kato makeup, you know, dyed, red hair, you know, leopard skin coat or jacket or something. Very, again, very sluttish dressed, really. I don't think she might improved, you know, her dress sense or look really later, maybe years later. I don't really know, but when I first met her, I saw, you know, during that time really, she was very tart, like a tart really. Smelled like a tart as well, actually. My God. She was okay, quite headstrong as well. She was a bit of a headstrong woman. I think most of the women were really. Some of them were quite nervous. Some of them were just batshit crazy, and some of them were headstrong. Really, I think Louise is one of them. Really, obviously she had a relationship with Declan. That I mentioned before. My God, I felt sorry for her really. She accused me actually once, trying, you know, for attacking her. Well, no, I don't. Well, actually, friending her actually. I didn't friend her at all. Never did. She just all, mate, I don't know. I think I was stressed doing some work actually. I think I was next to her or something like that. And you know, you feel frustrated by trying to sort a bloody essay or something like that. And I bloody banged my fist on the bloody table. I did, and so near her, and she sort of back, something like that really. But do you feel, you know, made a bloody white loud try and friend me, bitch. God. So. Stupid thing, really. She moved across. She said she was leaving. She was pregnant, of course, with a son who's Milo. And I don't know the bizarre reason. Her and Declan decided to make up and end up having a daughter as well. Strangely, but fully gone. She has custody of her own kids. Very much. She's moved back to Lincolnshire. She seems to be doing okay. I don't know what she does now. Because I think the weird thing was she actually blocked most of us really at the point of like not to be in contact with, really. Hard to find really. So I don't know what she does really. So who knows? Not from social media, all sorts really. So I think just like maybe not because we're social with Declan really. I think so. Maybe that's why probably mostly. But there we go. Really, so not saying much for who else. Jade, Buffer Cadams or Jim McKenna now. Again from Kendal, she was, but I think she's part. Well, I think she's New Zealand. She is. I think. Well, I think they moved to New Zealand, or born in New Zealand actually, and came here. Really, Jade, very tall, quite tall lass really in a way. Always remember she had like stars in the back of her neck with like a lot of stars. Very sort of, what do you call that? Like blushed mascara eyes, black eyes. She's known well, of course. Nice lass, and she's always good friends with Sid really. Siobhan, of course. You always see them two together really most of the time anyway. Not that time really. And yeah, she's always pleasant. She is very nice lass, of course. I think she had boyfriend Sam, going out with Sam at that point, 2014. And actually, they recently got married. They did just this year, actually. I think they meant to do it last year, but of course, pandemic happened. So she ended up getting married to him, of course. Finally, after many years, of course. She's a nurse now. She's working in hospital things like near on the South Sea. I think South Sea. She's down there really. So yeah, she's doing that, and she was the third person to do level 3 as well. She transitioned to level 3 along with Siobhan and Declan, of course. Indeed. I'm not sure what Declan if he did that. I don't know. Siobhan never did. She's always said that she wanted to be a midwife, but never did actually. Of course, I think she did them on course, but again fell pregnant with her third fiance, third ex really at that point. And so nothing really happened really. She was like a stay-at-home mum, really benefits really, child benefits, really. Yeah, but Jade's seems to be doing all right really. She's married, she's happy, she's got a job, she's got a nurse, fair enough. I was in I think, where was that? God. Again, 2014, probably in June or something like that. So good number of years, long time ago, quite a few number of years. What else have I mentioned yet? Oh, Shagul Abdullah, or Rihanna Harris. She changed the name to Shagul. My God, if you want a definition of wild child, she's the one. She's definitely. She's like Nicki Minaj on steroids, really, like on high and whatever, really. Pie loving lass, wild, smokes a lot. My God, and a Muslim as well. She is, even though she escapes this tradition. She did. She didn't. She just goes against them really, and she's basically this pie loving lass. Swears a lot. She completely loud. You've got loud mouth. My God. Shows well. Show dumpy lass. My God. That's the first time I met her. Of course, we were on the same table together. She's loud. She was vaping bloody everywhere. She was. My God. She definitely made a first impression on everyone. Really. Yes. I've always gone to her around. She had a crush on me. I did. Even offered me sex at one point. She did. When I was 17, I was 17 at that point. I was. We just having a classroom one time doing, again, we're going to this math class, really. Just the two there at the moment, really. And she said, I'm being all flirty and film. She put us on the table and spray her leg, she did. And he said, it goes that weird thing, really. It's like, God, no. If I did that, I'd probably be booted out, really, My God. So I politely declined. One thing about her was, really, again, from foster care, really, she was prone to self-harm, she was. I have to admit, mental health issues, really, with her. Because I noticed this one time, actually, looked at her arms, and she had these scars all over her arms. Self-harm, she did. And she broke down one time. I don't know if she dated someone, I don't know, but she literally broke down in tears at one point. Literally full on, she did. It was like that, really. It was quite, like a bit of a dramatic moment, really. Last time I saw her, it would have been 2014. It would have been her birthday, actually. I was in a place called Mortimer Inn. It was like this basically in Troutbeck, high in the hills, in the middle of nowhere. basically this like poor boat in the middle of the bloody nowhere in the hills somewhere. Really, it's like a bit of an odd place, a bit like sort of Shining, really. Been there for just for a party, but that's the last time I saw her. And well, last time I sort of mentioned really like what she was doing. I think she was in a side crash in Manchester, I think actually. Really, so I have no idea where she is now. Is she alive? I don't know. Is she dead alive? I don't know. Is she happily living? Is she? I have no idea. That mystery's unsolved really. Unlike everyone else really. Don't know about her really. Who knows? But wild child. If you don't definition of wild child like a pineapple, fucking hell. She's oh, I can imagine being on nights out with her. Oh. She's pleasant, loud, vapes a lot, smokes a lot, and always after a man. Fucking hell. There we go. So, yep, there we go. That's a girl, Oriana. She adored Rihanna. That's why she changed the name. Harris. She had a jacket, army jacket, and it had Harris in the back stitched on it, so it's like it must choose our surname really. So Rihanna Harris. Really, some people say, "Oh, it's like Calvin Harris." He just chose it after Calvin Harris. Like, no, it's the sort of the name on the back of the jacket I wear. So there we go. God, there we go. Nicole Cavan is next. She comes from Flipper actually. So you mentioned me actually. I thought she'd be older than me. I look at her. I thought she's about 20 or something, 21, something like that. Same as me. So about 16, 17 she was. She's always been a bit of I don't know, tomboyish, more like, pleasant. Yes. She's a little bit great. She has, very good. Yeah. Nothing to say about her. She's always been pleasant. She had a few friends that come along as well. Someone called Kira. She left very early. She only lasted a couple of days. She did. And there's another one, Nicole. She's named Nicole Head. She stayed for maybe a month, or I think a month actually. Then she went off. She said, "No, not for me." This course. She was pleasant. She was anyway. But yeah, did sail off for a long run really, or the whole year really. Who else? Who else is there? Who else is left? Dawn Mulville. Dawn passed it when I met her the first other time actually. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, it is Dawn. Dawn's the last one, yeah. So Dawn, the oldest of the bunch, really. She was about in the early 30s at the time, really. She was married. She had 4 children, 2 sons, 2 daughters, and she's sort of like the Mother Goose of that group, really, in a way. Sort of Mother Superior, sort of, really. She's a bit quiet. Again, sort of a bit like Saborn, a bit of a headstrong, really, sort of in the main front, really. Like presenting sort of his ideas, all that sort of stuff, really, getting heavily involved, really, that type of thing. She's always been, she was pleasant. I mean, she was pleasant, she was, and yeah, it's a whole thing, that type of thing, really. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I think actually there's a few things with her really as well. She was actually thinking about leaving. She was at one point. I think in December when we first started. She felt like I had to think about leaving. She never did actually. She sort of stayed on really to the very end really. Indeed. What else happened? So I think the main sticking point with her really, when I mentioned Mulville, that's a maiden name. So she got. So I think a year after we finished, really, after the whole course finished and everything else, it was a bit weird actually because I was still in contact with her actually, but for some reason she disappeared really. I actually messaged Siobhan about this actually, and she said, "Oh, she's blocked people. She blocked me as well." Apparently, her ex come back in town really, or come see her, basically for her first son really, and don't know what really happened. Something happened, and she ended up being separated really from her husband. She ended up divorcing him or something like that. And I don't know. So I don't really know the details really much about it, but she just separated from her husband. She did, and wrote to Mulville, blocked a few people. She blocked me actually. I think what the main reason was why that was because of ex really trying to find out if she was friends with people or something like that around Kendall area or something like that. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird thing, really. That was strange. That was. I mean, Louise, that's sort of understandable because of Declan, really. But we don't. That's a bit of a weird thing. That was strange. That was a bit of an odd thing. And I'm not entirely sure the main reason was, but ended up being blocked. Most of all, social media actually, strangely, that's weird. That was weird. That's weird. That is, and yeah. So come to think of it, no, because I think I saw her when I was working. I was doing hospital appointment. Hospital escort it was. I think I recognised her actually because how she looked. Worked at Western General now in a department. Dyed her hair actually, she did, and I think she dyed it a few times. And she's referred to her blonde now. Working in one as a nurse really, actually. No department actually, but she was there. I thought like, oh, that nurse looks familiar. That staff member looks familiar, and she's like smoking zipped off really in a way. So that was interesting. Straight, a bit of a weird thing. So that's probably maybe the last time I saw her actually, really. So I don't know much about her. Don't know what's going on really. What was really going on really? So I don't know why people blocking everything. Of course, it's strange, really. Bit of an odd thing. It was weird. It was weird. It was, just like a year later. Yeah, I don't know. Indeed, she also did like custom classes, classic classes for a bit actually, for a brief, like her own thing really, productive stuff really. Yeah, pretty good stuff. And what she did for time really, and yeah, that's about all really. That's about it really. So that's all people are covered actually, and there's not much to really say really. But my memory's a bit hazy right now actually with college really. So we started off with good intentions. We did, just like oh well, I can't really do childcare. I can just do health and social. That's the next best thing. I learned a lot of good stuff actually. Learned about anatomy. That was interesting from a guy called Tom Cross, who was an ex-fireman, who worked in Germany actually. Came in and taught us. He did always used me as a test subject really. He's what I felt like, a bit of rational. Seth was a main one. This 30-something fella who was a bit hopeless, a bit not crazy or anything. It was a bit dim. It's so a bit dim in a way, really. But that's one of those things, really. I mean, he was alright, but he was a bit. I don't know. So about him, there was Michelle. There was Tamara. That's it. There was Tamara. I think there's only them four that we did really. We did. Who else? I don't really know actually, but we had them four. So yeah, really. I don't know what to say really on that thing really. I think stuff really kicked off around about March, April 2014 really, because we were just like carrying on, plodding on, doing what we do really. But only left in December 2013, stayed on really. But I think stuff really kicked off in the following year, the new year really, where again there was a lot of drama going on. Of course, I mentioned about the whole abusive relationship with Declan and Louise. Everyone was one thing was also going on was everyone was like on different sides really. Like you got one group of people in one side, you got another people on one of us. So you got people like Romana, Jess, and Samara on one side really. Other side you got people like Declan, Sabom, Dawn, Jade, Tyler, sometimes half and half on the other really. I think you got a small camp of people as well. Again like Laura, Jasmine, Nicole, Hannah, sometimes Zach when he's there, and me in the middle. I was sort of the middleman really. So like. I was there sort of like, I could sit in the middle, of course, and just keep out of the way of stuff, really, And there was a lot of arguing going on, a lot of disagreements with people, really. That sort of thing, back and forth, roasting sometimes, like that, really. So people were sort of at each other's throats, really. Stuff like that, really. Not really. Also, I had a mini nervous breakdown. I did about March or April, something like that, really, because I think the problem was I was burnt out. I've worked too much. The problem was I don't like if I feel I'm going to college and I won't, never will. They put a lot of pressure in it. Those two, at that time, really, the education system was a bit fucked, really. Not the best, as I think the education system's been sort of like going downhill with the pandemic and things. But at that point, it's like you're pushed off your feet, too much stuff, to do a lot of essay stuff, even though I worked hard, had pneumonia for a brief time. I did, and went a bad way. Pushed too far. Did the essay, of course. You worked on the essay. No. Do it again. And so that came along. That was kept going, repeating on that did, and that was fucking infuriating. Really, I got a pass. Really, so all that hard work, and it's like, not worth it. Really, so not good. Even though I went my best, really, that was the most consistent one of the bunch. Really, I think it's the only one. Really, had a really nervous breakdown. Had a counselling actually, and sort of relaxed and went to did a lot of gym stuff I did afterwards. Did a lot of cardio stuff I did really. So that's what we worked a little bit really. Didn't last. I think it didn't last long a bit really, but there we go. Yeah. Another thing was, I think about towards the end really, it was actually at the very end actually. There was an award ceremony. There was, and didn't know about this actually, but I ended up being nominated for an award I did, along with Nicole. She didn't attend the ceremony though, only myself really. All people also college really, so I got the award. I still have it somewhere actually. It's on a wall, or I put it down. I don't know where it is. Probably on the wall somewhere in the room. Not here, in my parents' house. Got the award. But before I did that, actually, I said, I posted on Facebook because I was using Facebook at the time. I started using Facebook. Okay, so Mano, cheers, mate. In January, so in June, I put up saying, awards, going to awards, even very nervous. I left it there really, and a few hours later, I think when I got home, there had been back and forth stuff and bit of spat really amongst people like Declan, Dawn, Saborn, that type of thing really. Again, what the fuck? It's like, what, we show got that. It's like, the show got this, you show got that, or something like that. And it really carried on. It was really like, it's like, well, that's the found down the coffee really, in a way. And that really just like back and forth. And actually, Saborn on the last day, she confronted Steph about it and something like in a pissed off angry way. I think I walked in and she was like mid pointing, like shouting, or saying, finger pointing, everything else. That really sort of did really. I think it was left. Was it me, Hannah, and Zach? I don't know. Was it? I don't really know actually. There's four of us left really, because at that little end of June, it was just me actually, just to attend the class, and no one else attended really. There's really people popped in here and there, like Lauren popped in briefly, doing a bit of work, and she booked it off. No one else really bothered. Just me on Thursday. They had a award ceremony. I think it was just me, Saborn, and Zach was there. He was. I don't really know actually. I'm trying to think of who the person was really. So that was last time. We didn't stay long anyway. I don't think, and it was like half a day. I think fish and or something like that. Went for coffee. I think me and Saborn and Zach actually went for coffee. We just all. What did we for lunch? Did we? I don't know. Maybe lunch actually. I don't know. I counted the first X really, which was something at which oh god. I mean, like when you count people's X's and stuff like that, it's very. I get completely like shit. It's like God. It's like that sort of thing. And I thought like he was going to bully attack me and stuff like that because I was with Saborn really, but no, really, it's alright really. No, it was just like a friend really. I thought like I'll probably be the next person really that you could probably be seeing and then having a fight with him. No, I don't know what his name is though, but no, I have no idea. But met one of the bloody exes. My god, some strange walls it is. Went for lunch, of course, and that was it really, to be honest. And I think afterwards was Rihanna Sugar's birthday. I think afterwards really. So went there, and it was alright really. Had a few, maybe a lager or two really. Just there, not much going on really, but decent place. First time I went to Mall Man actually, so yeah, pretty good, pretty decent actually. So yeah, it was a tough time, but quite a tough time. It was really, I guys, one of the worst times of my life because the whole drama thing, of course, me having a really nervous breakdown, and I sort of quote unquote, I didn't sort of, I was in a weird limbo phase. It was really for a year, and it really for about for a while actually. To be honest, it's like you come out of some trying to thing and try and navigate your way, Really, it was like disorientating. It was really. Frustrating as well. It's like I was sort of like a dead end really at that point. Um, so that was really about it. Would we reunite? No, I don't think so. I think that's the only group I can probably group of people I probably will never reunite or get together. That would be too much because what's been going on, of course, Declan, main thing really, of course. I don't know actually. Well, not really, because if you put us in a room together nowadays, probably spark some bad friction really. Considering Dawn's got divorced, she did. There's a few nice things, of course. People got married. Some people got married. Hannah and Jay got married. Some of them go for different phases, of course, like Jasmine and Declan really most of the time. Some of them still the same really. Some we don't know. We don't know about her. We just don't know really. That it would have been. It might be volatile, really. People come. People from Bournemouth, Lincolnshire, come down really, and South Sea, whatever. Come down, have a reunion, and it would be toxic. I think it would probably be one of the worst nights out ever if you did that, or reunite in a room. Reunite for one night only. It won't end well. Probably won't. Never will. Maybe a lot of fighting. A lot of cat fights, really. Well, that's one chapter I solved. That'll never, be, sort of thing really. Some of them are ongoing, like we made some primary, we're still going. Secondary school, that's chapter's closed really, because we had the group PSL reunion 2017 we did. And this one, no, I don't see us reuniting whatsoever. I'm still in contact with most of them really. Started on one thing on Facebook really, so there we go. I met a few through them since then, like Zach, Declan. So there we go. I have some Hans family as well. Jasmine's dad, Andy, as well. Yeah. So I don't see us absolutely reuniting whatsoever. My God, that's my thing. Boys that room together, it will work out. In-house fighting, lots of stuff. I mean, with stuff, with relationships. I mean, Declan's one of the main thing, really. I think, if he, and I'll spark, basically a bomb will go off, really. More like, in the most easiest way possible, really. So, yeah. So there we go, guys. So that's the third epoch. That's college, that is. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. That's probably, I think that's the worst period of my life, really. So, I mean, the group, lots of drama going on and stuff happening, of course, personal stuff, really. Mental health stuff, really. A little bit, something like that, really. And, yeah, just ends from there. So, that's all left me in a bit of a limbo period straight afterwards, really. Like, where do I go from there, really? So, go around working Kendall, do the odd things, of course, apprenticeship and volunteer work and everything else, and just try and remain in care, really. Like in the health social business, really, in the industry, really. Sitting there for a bit. Did a lot of interesting experience, really, but I don't know, it was in a weird limbo period. I wasn't getting paid at all, really. So there we go. So that's it, guys. I'll leave it on this note. So I'll see you for the fourth and final part, which is just titled profession, really. So, or professional, profession, whatever. And I'll see you then, guys. Thank you so much. See ya.